Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Jerry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get into this. One of the catalysts for the rise in the price of XRP is the Clarity Act. Once signed by Trump, institutions will be able to use XRP for settlements. This is why we must pay attention to the Clarity Act. The global digital control grid is being built in plain sight. A coordinated global push is underway to implement digital ID systems as a new foundational standard for government-issued identification. As journalist Whitney Webb educates, this isn't just about modernizing your driver's license. It's about creating a biometric bedrock for a new system of control. These digital IDs are fundamentally linked to central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Official documents from the UN and the Bank of International Settlements explicitly state that the CBDCs and digital IDs are inseparable. The digital finance system they envision cannot exist without the ID. Your financial wallet will be tied to your digital identity, which is in turn mapped to your physical self via the collection of your biometric data, your face, fingerprints, and irises.
It's a coordinated global policy push for digital IDs as the new form of government-issued identification credentials. And they're essentially all based on your biometric data, which can be your fingerprints, your face, the iris of your eyeball. And the idea is essentially to collect all of that data and have it housed or have it tied directly to your digital ID. So your physical ID will be mapped to the digital ID. Digital IDs are not really a separate project from CBDCs and this new digital financial system. And UN documentation and also documentation from the Bank of International Settlements, they very overtly state that CBDCs and digital IDs are meant to go together. And without digital IDs, the CBDC digital finance system cannot exist. They have to know who you are. And so they want to have your wallet tied to a digital ID and have that digital ID be mapped to your physical ID through the biometric data collection. One of the main reasons for this coordinated global push to develop digital IDs is because it's deemed essential to the entire Sustainable Development Agenda, which is the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, also known as Agenda 2030. And the specific part dealing with digital IDs is within SDG 16, which is about building peaceful and inclusive societies. One of the indicators of SDG 16, 16.9, calls for legal identification for everyone in the world from the time they're born, essentially. One of the main words they use to market this stuff is equity and inclusion. The idea that we need to include everybody in these new systems. But if you don't participate in digital ID, you won't have a legally recognized identity. You won't have rights. You won't be able to access services without it. So it's being framed as promoting inclusion, but the system itself is inherently exclusionary and has been used to track and surveil people, to link people to, essentially all their activities, what they say online in some of the countries that have rolled this out, and has been used to facilitate human rights abuses. So it's not exactly as inclusive as they like to claim. It's inclusive in the sense that we want everyone equally included in our new system that we're creating, our new control system, fundamentally. What happened with the vaccine passport was to link your identity to your travel, to the freedom of movement. And if you didn't have one, you were excluded from entering certain places. So that, again, highlights the idea of how these digital IDs are inherently exclusionary, because if you don't have one, then you're excluded from, moving where other people that have those privileges. And if you don't abide by these various stipulations, you're excluded from participating in those things.
They want total control is exactly what they want. And they will get it if this stuff is implemented. They will get total control over all of us eventually. Either we fight back now and resist this. Otherwise, like I said, we will be put in a digital cage. And don't forget, Agenda 2030 only happens in a cashless economy. In cash, we don't know who's using a $100 bill today. The key difference with CBDC is the central bank will have absolute control and the technology to enforce it.
Our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
He said the quiet part out loud right there. They will have total control over it. CBDCs are not good things. A central bank digital currency is only going to give the totalitarian control that they want. Some breaking news, major news for the entire crypto world. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, is reportedly being considered as a leading candidate for President Trump's new crypto advisory board. If confirmed, this would place Ripple and XRP directly at the center of U.S. crypto policy. Think about what this means. The CEO of the company behind the most institutionally integrated digital asset could soon advise the White House on national crypto strategy. Ripple, already years ahead in regulatory clarity and compliance, would have a direct voice of shaping the future of U.S. digital finance. XRP's role as a bridge asset for global liquidity can finally gain the official recognition it deserves. This is not speculation anymore. The corridors between Washington and Ripple are becoming visible in real time. The next financial framework will not be built in secret. It will be engineered in public with Ripple sitting at the table. XRP is not just a part of the system, it's becoming the system. Teucrium CEO says Ripple is building a new Wall Street, and XRP's chart just confirmed it. So here's the deal. Ripple just finished its big move, buying Hidden Road and turning it into Ripple Prime. And now even Wall Street execs are saying it out loud. Ripple's literally rewriting how global finance works. Teucrium CEO called it out, a new Wall Street. And honestly, he's not wrong. Ripple Prime is basically a prime brokerage, the same type of platform big hedge funds use to trade billions in assets. But this one's built on blockchain. That means instead of using old school systems like Swift that takes days to settle, Ripple can move money instantly using XRP as the bridge. Think about that. Wall Street trades settle in seconds, globally 24/7. That's where all this is heading.
And I think that other cryptos, including XRP, have a use case, a legitimate use case. I think XRP's is a wonderful working model. I think that it's only going to get better. They made an acquisition today where I believe they bought a prime broker, and that's really big news because that means there'll be almost instantaneous settlement across all asset classes inside that prime broker. It'll be a wonderful start to the new Wall Street, that's based on blockchain that moves really quickly. No more 3 days for wire transfer.
It's going to settle instantly, 24/7, 365 days a year. What are your targets? Comment down below and tell me your price targets for XRP by year end. And last up, this is a pretty wild conversation they have about Satoshi and how they say he's never coming back, and they say he pretty much passed away or he's gone. I say it was a government agency, the NSA, the CIA, something like that, because Bitcoin is a psyop. It was the way they got people used to digital money. In the end, they all want us in the digital cage anyway. But check this video out. Apparently, we'll never know who Satoshi is. This is wrong on so many levels. How can you sit there and be so confident that Satoshi is never coming back? Haha, this is actually so sad. Everything that was said in this clip is very, very concerning. And the Satoshi wallet will have movement, 100%.
Not bad. So we can't do Satoshi, right? Because he's gone. He's never coming back. And we can't invoke him to come back.
How do you know he's gone?
Because he would have come back at this point if he was incentivized financially, and Bitcoin is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. At no point in time is there a person that's like, I'm going to wait. I have a couple $100 billion now. I'm going to wait until it hits $1 trillion or whatever it is.
It's not one person. It's the damn government agency, just like Ripple's a government agency as well. And if Satoshi is one person, it's David Schwartz. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think.
And you can see wallets. That's how you know.
You can see it. Yeah, his coins have not moved since, I forget what year.
It's his coins.
Yeah, it's in his wallet.
How many coins does he have?
Wasn't it like 1 million? Roughly
It's
a
a
million
lot.
coins, yeah.
So what's the value of that?
It was like
Whatever it is,
$128 billion.
Yeah, he's like one of the top
Sitting in his
5.
wallet.
And you've never seen that is his wallet transacting.
It's never moved, and it never will.
It hasn't moved since when? It was like 2000.
I want to say 2011, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So are people speculating that he's passed away? That he's gone?
Most likely he's passed away, yeah. The people who think he was, but the Bitcoin community doesn't really like to talk about who Satoshi is because that's an attack vector, right? Because if you figure out who that person is or who that group was, you can attack
That's
their
a
character.
vulnerability.
That's a vulnerability.
It's interesting. Michael Saylor's been asked, who is Satoshi Nakamoto?
He gets mad.
And yeah, he just
Yeah.
it triggers him. Like he does not want to answer it.
Right.
And he gets visibly upset.
Yeah, he calls it the immaculate conception of Bitcoin, right? Because it's like no one knows who gave birth to this thing. And it's smart. We shouldn't really try to figure that out.
Why would you not want to try to figure it out? It makes zero sense. The 2008 financial crisis happened, the crash, and then what, months later in 2009, Bitcoin's created by an anonymous person? Yeah, right, my ass. Well, that's what I have for you folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto CI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.